Have you guys seen the Undone by Kate drama with the wedding dress that was poorly made? I came across this video by Alexander who had a dress custom made by a designer in New York and had several fittings, but it never got any closer to what she originally had in mind. Now, as a self-taught designer, I can say that mistakes are not beneath anybody that sews, but as an experienced designer, I do have some thoughts. My name is Karen. I'm a custom dress designer and a sewing pattern designer, and there were a few things in the video that stood out to me in terms of patterning and garment construction that I wanted to address. One, for anyone that is learning to sew or new to sewing certain types of garments, just to remind you to use your resources and give a few tips on how you can avoid similar things happening. And two, to remind consumers that dressmaking is hard and it is a very specific skill set, and if you find someone that does it well, it's worth a lot of money. Her muslin or sample test fit dress for her first fitting came out pretty decent, but she did want to change some things. So she has what's called a princess seam bodice, and I do have a pattern for this. The front portion has three panels, so you have two side panels that go on each side of your body and then a center panel. So you cut two of these and one of these you cut on the fold. So basically there's a seam that goes down here over your chest, and then there's a seam that goes down the other side of your chest as well. So she wanted hers to be closer together to kind of accentuate her waist, and she felt like they were just too far apart. And what I would have done, this is how I would have marked up my pattern, because with sewing, whenever I'm changing something on someone's garment, I always go back and mark up my pattern. You never know when you're going to have to completely redo something or recut something, or when you might need to use your pattern as a guide to do something to the actual dress. Or maybe you just end up loving the pattern and you want to be able to use it again for another client in the future. So I would have taken off, I would have just marked my center bodice panel like this and removed that. But you can't just remove it, because then you're going to be making your bodice smaller. So whatever you take from one side, if you want to maintain the same size, you have to add it to the other side. And so this is how I would have done it. So if I curved this piece in like this to give her that shape that she wanted, I would have then added the piece that I cut off back to this other piece over here, so the seam would have been following that proper shape. I have two corset patterns, and both of them have the capability to be a drop waist. Now, when I first started sewing, because this is what she wanted, was a drop waist. When I first started sewing, I knew what a drop waist was, but I didn't really like them, so I didn't prioritize learning how to make them. But after years of making corsets, I realized they're not really functional without the length that is required for a drop waist. So hers, it looks like there's only about an inch or so of fabric below her waistline. And I have two corset patterns, and both of them, they extend below the waist into like the high hip area. And so there's 4 inches from the waistline to the below the waist area. So that gives you the extra room that you need in order to have a drop waist, or be able to dip your fabric down in the center, or whatever you want to do with it. So she wanted a drop waist. That's not necessarily what they gave her. So her expectation was that at the next fitting, it would have been a longer bodice. And yeah, I just would have assumed that they would have completely recut the bodice and, you know, repatterned and started the bodice over. When she went back 4 months later, she tried on a dress that was supposedly in the final fabric. And what I immediately noticed was that they did not change the positioning of the princess seams. So it was still making her look wider than she wanted. And then the bodice looked kind of baggy compared to the first dress. The skirt looked, how she described, to be deflated, and it was super big in the back, so that's where she got scared. Now I can understand that with the fabric being like the heavier final fabric, it could look a little bit more floppy, but I would have planned to sew in like some type of petticoat or tulle or something underneath the skirt to give it volume. And I also wouldn't have made it so bulky at the waistline. There's a dress that comes to mind that I did for a maternity dress, and it looks like here they did a double circle skirt, which is just like a lot of fabric to sew into one seam. And I would have done a little bit of math and calculated enough extra fabric so that there would be some gathering and bunching, but not so much that they would have been trying to sew like 2 whole skirts into one seam. So this is the dress that I did, and you can see that there is some bunching at the waist, but it wasn't a crazy amount of bunching. I knew for this dress that a double circle skirt wasn't going to work, but I still needed volume. So what I did was I did 3 panels for the front of the dress, and they came together to make half of a full circle skirt. And then for the back of the dress, I did 2 panels that made up a half circle skirt. So I did have a full circle skirt, but I also made the waist total bigger than her under bust line, or what would have been the waistline if it wouldn't have been a maternity dress. So instead of doubling it, I made it 1.25 times as big. So I think her under bust was like 39 or something like that. And then the full circle opening was like 47 inches. So it was bigger, and I did have to gather it, but not so much that it would have been like that. And this pattern took me hours to figure out what to do, because sometimes pattern making is a lot of math and a lot of time and a lot of overthinking. So she raised her concerns, they reassured her, but when she came back for another fitting, she seemed to have gotten another dress, but still did not have her original concerns fixed. So the princess seams were still wide. They now have put in some bra cups. And with princess seams, I don't ever insert bra cups unless I'm going for like a look and I'm putting some type of illusion cup on the outside. All of your support for the bust is supposed to come from the shape of the seams and also boning. I always use flat steel boning, and that gives all the bust support that you would need. They also still did not drop the waist, and the skirt still looked like super baggy in the waist. So I can see that a lot of work has gone into the dress. If you sew, you know that this is not like a quick thing to do. But the most glaring issue was the lack of the drop waist, which is something that she stated over and over that she wanted. So I think maybe she or the person that was sewing the dress just wasn't familiar with that style of construction, and also wasn't familiar with pattern making to know how to move the seams. And then when she came back for another fitting, she had what I thought was a waistband, but it actually was just them pinning the dress to make the bodice be shorter because it was too long. And same with the back, they have these markings showing how to make the bodice shorter. And none of this has to be done on your client. All of this can be solved during the pattern making process on the paper, simply by taking good measurements, and not just bust, waist, and hip, but you also have to take vertical measurements. You have to know where your client's underbust level is, how many inches there are from their shoulder to their underbust, from their underbust to their waist, from their waist to their hips. And if you have all of that mapped out on your pattern, you're going to save a lot of time, you're going to save money on fabric, and you're going to save your client from freaking out and feeling like you don't know what you're doing. And if you're not great at pattern making, you can buy a pattern and adjust it, or you can ask other sewing colleagues for advice on how to execute the garment. So for a final thought, dressmaking is hard. It takes a lot of skill, practice, math, and overthinking, and it's worth every penny when it's done correctly. We all start somewhere, and there are certain garments that you can make simply by just pinning things on a person or on a mannequin and stitching, but eventually you do have to get into the pattern making of it all, because a dress can be so beautiful, but if it doesn't fit, it is worth absolutely nothing to the person it was made for.